Hey, you guys, Pignorance559 here. Um, I wanted to touch upon a subject today, a very interesting and powerful one that I feel is not really touched upon lately. And today's episode is going to be, well, uh, it's something that should be talked about more. Um, for all those out there that want to join the U.S. military, and in specific, I'm going to be talking about the female community. You know, females, women, the female community. Um, if you're thinking about joining the military and why it's not a good idea, I'm going to take you guys back onto memory lane here. And I do apologize ahead of time for the women that I'm not bringing up that I have no idea about. Maybe I didn't get well informed and do my due diligence on research, because I'm pretty sure there are more women and female, the female community in our U.S. military who have gone through the same thing, who have gone missing, and who have been raped and murdered. Um, we're going to start off with this. Her name is Vanessa uh, Julian. I can't really pronounce her name right. And I apologize because, she's a Latina. I should be able to pronounce this. This was back in the year 2020. Vanessa was murdered at Fort Hood, Texas, after reporting sexual harassment. Her case gained national attention and led to calls for military justice reform. Okay, that's one. That's one already done. That's a female. Ana Basaldua Ruiz. This was in the year 2023. A soldier found dead at Fort Hood. While her familia was always reporting she was experiencing sexual harassment and sexual assault, she also died. Katia Dueñas Aguilar. This was in the year 2024, okay? A soldier found murdered outside of Campbell, Kentucky, stabbed over 70 times. Understand, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, um, these are females that were in the military, okay? And if it's not soldiers raping them and murdering them, the things are just really tied inside of the military, inside the military bases where they're being stationed at, inside those barracks. And when they come out or inside, they're not safe. They can have other people do the higher up in the chain of command do their dirty work for them. Sarah Roque or Roque, I can't really spell her name right, but this was in the year 2024. A soldier charged with the murder of a sergeant on a Missouri military base. Uh, her body was found in a dumpster. A female military personnel, dude. They found her body in a dumpster. Thank you for your service, right? Wow. Angelina Petra Resendes. This was in the year 2025. This was this year. Just recent. This is the most recent one. Women just keep going missing and everything. Navy sailor who disappeared from her Navy base in Norfolk, Virginia. She was last seen alive at her barracks, Naval Station, Norfolk, on May 29th, but her body was found on June 9th. The name of her killer is named Jeremiah Copeland. All these women, the majority of them, they're all Hispanics. If they're not black, they're mostly Latinas. Our brown skinned sisters are the ones that are being targeted by the white man's military. Um, I wanted to touch upon something. Check this out. Official data on missing and murdered military female personnel may be incomplete. The full extent of voluntary absences in the military is unknown. A significant majority of military sexual assaults go unreported. Mm. Another one. Women veterans who experienced MST, for those that don't know what that stands for, it stands for military sexual trauma, have significantly higher suicide rates compared to those who did not. So, all these female personnel here in America, if you're just getting out of high school or you're in middle school or in high school, you're thinking about joining, I'm going to show you guys this video in a bit. But before I do, I want you to think before you join. I want you to really think about that. I want you to know that it's not safe for you. Okay? Uncle Sam and his buddy Uncle Tom, they're not looking out for your best of interests. As you can see, for the rap sheet that our country has alone of raping, pillaging, and murdering female military personnel. It doesn't matter what branch: Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coastal Guard, blah, blah, blah. You know, you name it. Females are not safe in this country when it comes to military. Uh, you know, the white man's military. And why do I say white man's? Well, because it's the white man's military. You know, who do they send off to war in the front lines? Who fights the best wars? Hispanics and blacks. Why? Because our blood, somos guerreros, we're warriors, right? But there's a lot of testosterone involved here. There's a lot of testosterone involved in the military. There's men in there who have that mentality. Oh, it's the spoils of war. Well, these men aren't even at war. They're at home or even overseas, wherever they're stationed, whether it's on U.S. soil or on overseas U.S. Marine Corps or Army embassies. They cannot control their testosterone levels, the urge. So what do? They're out here raping our female military personnel, whether they're in the showers or in the barracks. And what do? To keep them from talking? They chop them up into pieces. They rape them, chop them up to pieces, and toss their bodies wherever. As you guys can see, you're gonna see in a little bit how these beautiful brown sisters of ours end up. They throw them in garbage bags and dumpsters, throw their bodies in the sea, and I wanted to share. I wanted to share these videos with you guys. So to any female out here who's thinking about joining the military, I want you to always remember: if a father's watching this, a mother's watching this, and you have a daughter, you make sure you tell them not to join the U.S. military, and you make sure you keep it 100%, keep it 100, keep it a buck, keep it transparent. Tell them why. Mija, I'm sorry, I don't want you to join because there is a 95% rate chance. 95%, that is a high ass percentage, dude, that you will get raped inside the showers or inside the barracks. Okay? You make sure that you warn them. Warn them, okay? They don't have to go to the military just to make it in this country. Okay? They can be an architect, they can go into real estate, they can go to college for that. You don't have to go to the military to make it in this country. Okay? I know a lot of people who've joined the military, and when they take the ASVABs and they get their MOS, when they take the ASVAB test and they get their ASVAB score, then they get their MOS job, whether it's at LA MEPS, Sacramento MEPS, what have you. They take the ASVAB test at Port Magoo, whatever. Um, After you get your score, you're going to get an MOS. An MOS is what's going to be your job inside of the military, whether it's overseas or on U.S. soil. Um, I get it. Okay, I was at a military high school myself. I wanted to join the Marine Corps. Um, that's a long story. I ended up knocking out my Marine recruiter because I found out he was sleeping with underage chicks. He was more concerned about sleeping with underage chicks than he was being with me and studying for the ASVAB so I can pass and join. Some Marine recruiter from Santa Barbara, but he's from Orange County. He stayed in Santa Ana. He's a USC graduate too, by the way. But anywho, I did go to military high school. Yeah, I thought it was cool too because, well, I want the female community to know, whether you're in middle school or high school, you want to join because you think it'll help you to make it. You don't have to. Okay, I get it. Hollywood and all these movies, it is very influential. It is. Transformers. You're in the uniform and you're in your, whether AR-15 or M16 or a fucking Scar, and you got your fucking javelin or your RPGs, whatever, dude. I get it, dude. All that shit's very catchy. But I wanted to share this video with you guys, okay? I wanted to share it with you, and I want the female community here to know, in all of America's nation, why it's not a good and a bright idea to join our U.S. military, okay? And I'm not alone on this, okay? There's plenty of female military personnel, even male personnel, veterans on all branches, who, when they get out, they'll tell you the same thing. I regret going, and don't join. And these are the reasons why, yada, 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 yada. Okay. Um, go ahead and check out these videos. Just warning. Um, they are very strong, but I want you guys to see this. And if you're a parent, a mom or a dad, and you got a daughter, share to them as to why they shouldn't join the U.S. military. Okay, because even when all these women ended up dying, I want you to understand that white America, um, as you can see, the U.S. military conducts themselves just like our American police force. Oh, one of our male Army soldiers or Marine or National Guard or Air Force or Navy men raped another woman. Oh, they killed another woman. Oh, protect, protect, protect. Oh, cover, cover, cover. Oh, write this down. There's no honesty. There's no transparency in these investigations, so-called investigations from PI private investigators for military personnel in specific will drag things on as much as possible. The mothers, the fathers, the brothers and sisters of these fallen, beautiful Latinas here, their answers are going to be just dragged on. There is no justice. There is no transparency. I want you to understand. That is why I say America's military, who are they raping? And who are they murdering? Latinas, mostly Latinas and blacks. Do you see them doing that to whites? No. Okay. People of color, blacks and browns in specific, are not safe. Female personnel, military personnel, these females are not safe in there. You are not guaranteed safety in there. You are running the possibility of being raped, gang raped, in the showers, in your barracks. Then they'll chop you up into pieces. Okay. And they'll discard of your body. That is what, that is the possibility that you are running. Your recruiter, when you're in the recruiting office, they're going to promise you everything. Oh, you when you get out, you're going to get a Charger, a Challenger. You can do this, you can do that. We'll give you free college tuition, free housing, all this. But they don't tell you the risks of you being raped, then murdered. Okay? They protect their military men in there just the same way like they do out here in the civilian life. Say an officer comes over here from the Visalia PD and he's over here harassing me and I'm telling him to leave me alone. And he won't leave me alone. We end up in a physical tussle. Okay? And I'm sick and tired of that blue Nazi behavior. And this guy's over here reaching for his gun. I'm over here, I'm going to defend myself. I'm not going to let this white oppressor shoot and kill me, right? So I got to defend myself by any means necessary. From a self-defense, what I'm going to do, everything in my power to make sure that officer don't kill me. Okay? Let's say he kills me. Let's say he shoots me and kills me, shoots me in the head. They're gonna protect the officer. It's my word versus white America's blue Nazi who pushes white supremacy. America, if it's one thing I want the female community to know here in this country, America, white America will always protect their men and women in the name of the blue, the thin blue line, their male and female officers and sheriffs and COs. They'll protect those blue Nazis. There's just a plethora of protection for them. They also protect military personnel. Okay? Why do they protect military personnel so much too? Because when they get out, come here, straight shooter. Come here. I got a job for you. I got a job for you, straight shooter. They want those. Why? Kill, 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 kill. White America is just infatuated with killing. Okay? Killing who? In specific, blacks and browns. Okay? That's the truth. It's the truth. So I want you to know the type of level of power and supremacy you will be going up against should you choose, ladies, women, the female community, should you choose to join the military. You are gonna there's a chance that you're gonna run into this. And no matter how many times you try to report it, your higher up chain in command is gonna do his best to shut you down, demote you, uh, pull rank, and demote you and silence you, possibly even kill you, which is what the majority of the outcome is for the female community here in America that join our U.S. military. I want to go ahead and show you guys this video so you can go ahead and see what I'm talking about, okay? This is Pignorance 559, and I conclude with this, you guys. Brown pride, black power. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Private First Class Vanessa Guillen was last seen between 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. in a parking lot on Fort Hood wearing a black t-shirt and purple fitness-type pants. Her car keys, room key, identification card, and wallet were later found in the armory where she was working earlier in the day. She sends a text message to specialist Aaron David Robinson. Her family drives to Fort Hood to tell officials that she has not responded to texts or calls throughout the day. The U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division, or CID, is notified Guillen is missing. A witness says before her disappearance, she left the room where she was working to go to an arms room controlled by Robinson to confirm serial numbers for weapons and equipment. The local police and fire department, as well as the Texas Department of Public Safety, searched the area after Fort Hood asked for their help. Fort Hood investigators told them a phone possibly belonging to Guillen was pinged in the area. CID interviews Robinson. He tells them that after he finished his work on April 22nd, he went to his off-post residence that he shared with his girlfriend, Cecily Aguilar, and did not leave the rest of the night, except around 6:30 p.m. when he had to come on post to sign on to a government computer to enroll in training. The CID uncovers evidence of possible verbal sexual harassment of Guillen. After further investigation, another allegation involving the same individual was discovered. CID does not tell the public. Investigators interview two witnesses who say that on April 22nd, they saw Robinson pulling a large tough box that appeared very heavy out of the arms room where he worked. The two witnesses say they observed Robinson load the tough box into his vehicle and drive away. The Guillen family holds a press conference saying Guillen told them that she had been sexually harassed at Fort Hood and was scared to report it. They call on the Army to be more transparent about its search for her. Officials search the Leon River. They find the burned remains of a tough box similar to what witnesses described Robinson pulling in his vehicle on April 22nd. They also smell something decomposing, but find no human remains. Aguilar tells the investigators that Robinson told her on April 22nd that he hit Guillen with a hammer in the arms room at Fort Hood and killed her. Aguilar said Robinson later showed her the body, and she helped him try to dispose of it multiple ways over several days. Officials try to find Robinson, who they say has fled Fort Hood, but they never release his name to the public. Investigators listen in when Aguilar calls Robinson. During the call, Robinson does not deny his involvement with Guillen. Robinson texts Aguilar pictures of news articles about human remains being found. He also says during the call, quote, "They found the pieces. They found the pieces." Robinson fatally shoots himself when confronted by law enforcement. Aguilar is arrested. The family has maintained that Guillen was sexually harassed by superiors at Fort Hood. Army officials say there's no evidence linking sexual harassment to Guillen's disappearance.
Our coverage continues tonight on the death investigation of a Fort Hood soldier. 20-year-old Private Ana Basaluda Ruiz was found dead Monday on post. Her parents say they were told their daughter killed herself, and her parents also allege their daughter was continuously sexually harassed on Fort Hood. Fort Hood officials report there is no suspected foul play and say claims of possible sexual harassment will be investigated. Don Christensen is legal counsel for the nonprofit The Pink Berets. He is questioning how the military is going to handle this case because of the track record, especially with the Guillen family.
Will they accept this mother who is grieving the loss of her daughter when she tells them that her daughter had told her that she'd been sexually harassed? Are they going to accept that? Or are they going to do the same thing they did with the Guillen family and say that wasn't true?
Christensen says the family deserves answers. LULAC is also calling for an FBI investigation no matter how she died. We're going to keep you updated as we learn more in this upcoming week.
Whether you are a friend or her little sister.
So she was a very genuine and kind person.
Katia Aguilar's sister says the 23-year-old decorated Army soldier was a determined daughter and a dedicated mom.
Ella hasta en sus fotos que se tomaba.
She was always happy. That's why I don't understand what happened. Police call the Mesquite mom's sudden death a homicide. Katia was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, in the Army's 101st Airborne Division. Saturday, police found her dead in a Tennessee apartment complex near the base. Katia's 4-year-old son is safe elsewhere.
Yo solo le pido a Dios que me dé fuerza.
I just ask God to give me strength. I feel so weak, and the worst is coming. I haven't seen my daughter, and to think I'll see her for one last time. Sometimes I feel like I don't want to live. Gunman Aguilar says after nearly 6 years of military service, her daughter planned to come home to Mesquite. But then for a month, she stopped calling home.
Lo único que sé y ahora que me enfrento.
The thing I can't stop thinking is what was happening. She says she has no idea who would hurt her daughter or why. Local police and the Army are investigating what happened.
Pero solo me decía por partes.
She sometimes told me about circumstances within the base, but she wouldn't tell me much. They say the death of Katia is a reminder of Vanessa Guillen, a Hispanic Army soldier murdered in the Fort Hood Army base in Texas by another soldier.
I feel like we're heartbroken because we never expected it to be us.
What this family has always feared came true.
I wish, she would have been more open to me. Maybe I would have figured something out because to me she was always strong.
Now they try to keep each other strong to give Katia a voice and for justice. In Mesquite, I'm Adriana Day.
Major General Christopher Beck confirmed that the death of Sergeant Sarah Roque is being investigated as a homicide by the Criminal Investigation Division of the United States Army.
Unfortunately, the outcome of our efforts was one that we had all hoped and prayed would not happen.
Sergeant Roque was reported missing by members of her unit Monday morning. 3 hours later, a nationwide bulletin to be on the lookout for the missing soldier. Then,
later that evening, Sarah's body was discovered.
Now the Criminal Investigation Division, along with the FBI, are conducting a homicide investigation.
Her body was located in a dumpster adjacent to our single soldiers' quarters on the installation.
Criminal investigators with the Army are not yet releasing details into the cause of her death, the timeline of events that day, or a potential suspect in the case.
So at this point, we do have a person of interest. We are continuing to look at every investigative lead.
But when it comes to them being a member of the military?
That I can't answer as far as descriptor. It would give too much away.
While questions and the investigation continue, commanders at the post assure it remains a safe place.
I will tell you point blank, and I've said this to our team, the Command Sergeant Major and I have reinforced this. Fort Leonard Wood is a safe place to live and work.
The family of a U.S. Navy sailor speaking exclusively to ABC News after she was found dead near her station in Virginia. 21-year-old Angelina Resendiz was last seen in her barracks on May 29th. Her mother says the Navy did not properly notify her about her daughter's disappearance. Now another sailor's in custody, and Navy investigators say charges are pending. ABC News Live weekend anchor Whit Johnson has the latest.
Authorities are investigating the death of U.S. Navy sailor Angelina Resendiz after her body was found Monday in a wooded area of Norfolk, Virginia. The 21-year-old was a culinary specialist assigned to the USS James E. Williams. Resendiz disappeared from her barracks on May 29th, the Virginia State Police issuing a critically missing adult alert on June 3rd. Her remains discovered nearly a week later. A fellow sailor who has not been named publicly is now in pretrial confinement in connection with her death. But Navy officials have not released details on how she died.
You would be lucky to be around a person like Angie. Angie is light. Angie is uplifting.
Her mother speaking exclusively with ABC News, blasting the Navy's handling of the case.
Justice would look like an acknowledgement and an acceptance of something that has failed and that continues to fail. And a change, an actual change.
Whit Johnson, thank you.